Hello, class 12 students. Today we'll learn a very important thing for national income accounting. In our last class, we discussed about different aggregates of national income accounting. 8 aggregates are there. We discussed about those aggregates. We defined those aggregates. Today, we have to learn how we can estimate any aggregate if another aggregate is given to us. See, one sum is given here. You are to calculate national income. National income is one aggregate. And for that, you are given these items. Within these items, there is another aggregate, GDP at market price, 500 crores. So one aggregate is given and you have to calculate another aggregate. How? We have to learn these things here. For this estimation of aggregates, transforming one aggregate to another aggregate, we have to learn 3 types of adjustments. We must be very clear about the process of adjusting these 3 terms. You have noticed whenever we are talking about defined aggregates, sometimes the term gross is used, sometimes the term net is used, sometimes national concept is used, sometimes domestic concept is used, sometimes market price measured at market price, and sometimes national income is measured at factor cost. So to find out any aggregate, you have to learn how we can move from gross to net or from net to gross. How we can move from national to domestic or from domestic to national. How we can move from market price to factor cost or from factor cost to market price. You must have very clear conception about it. See, first we are considering the procedure of adjustment between gross and net. Assume gross is a bigger term, so we write it above. And assume net is a smaller term, so it is written below. Now if you move from a big term to small term, if you are moving from gross to net, you are actually moving from a big term to a small term, and for that reason you have to deduct something. Only then it will be small. What is that? You have to deduct depreciation. Similarly, if you move from net to gross, you are moving from a small term to big term, you have to add something. Something means depreciation. So in this way, you will keep in mind, whenever you move from gross to net, you are moving below, you have to deduct depreciation. You are moving up, you have to add depreciation. In this way, we can move between gross and net. National and domestic. Assume national is a bigger concept and domestic is a smaller concept. So we write national above and domestic term domestic written below. Now if you move from big to small, national to domestic, you have to deduct something. And if you move from domestic to national, small to big, you have to add something. That term is NFIAB, that means net factor income from abroad. So when you move from national to domestic minus net factor income from abroad, when you move from domestic to national plus net factor income from abroad. Another adjustment between market price and factor cost. Again, assume market price is a bigger term, so it is written above. Assume factor cost is a smaller term, so it is written below. Now if you move from big to small, minus something, or you move from small to big, factor cost to market price, you have to add something. That term is net indirect tax. So when you are moving from market price to factor cost, minus net indirect tax, NIT means net indirect tax. When you are moving from factor cost to market price, plus net indirect tax. In this way, we can move from one term to another term to find a new aggregate of national income account. Let us do the sum given here. We have to calculate national income. And we all know it well that national income is actually net national product at factor cost. Whenever you will be asked to calculate national income, you will actually calculate NNPFC, net national product at factor cost. So what you have to find out, right to the left, national income means NNP at factor cost. Right to the left, you have to calculate it. Now you are given one aggregate, GDP at market price. Right to the left, GDP at market price. I repeat, you have to calculate national income. Right to the left, what you have to estimate equals to the right, the term given should be written. GDP at market price is given, so you have to write it to the right hand side. Now start the adjustment. It is gross and it is net. You are moving from gross to net. Whenever you are moving from gross to net, what did we say? We have to deduct depreciation, minus depreciation. Now, here you are moving from domestic to national. What did I say? If you move from domestic to national and moving up, you are moving from a small term to big term, so you have to add something that is net factor income. You have to add net factor income from abroad. And you are moving from market price to factor cost. You are moving below. Market price is a bigger term, factor cost is a smaller term. So whenever you are moving from market price to factor cost, minus net indirect tax. Minus net indirect tax. Now write down the values given here. GDP at market price is 500. Minus depreciation 50. Plus net factor income from abroad 20. And minus net indirect tax minus 150. So actually it is becoming 500 minus 200, that is 300 plus 20. So 320 crores. 320 crores is national income. In this way, if you know the adjustment procedure, you can easily find out any aggregate if another aggregate is given. Your GDP at market price is given and you are calculating NNP at factor cost by making three adjustments here. You are moving from gross to net minus depreciation. You are moving from domestic to national plus net factor income from abroad. You are moving from market price to factor cost minus net indirect tax. This is the equation you have to make. Then put the values, you will get the answer. In this way, if you know how to change one aggregate to another form of aggregate, then you can start calculation of national accounts. We will calculate national income by income method, by expenditure method, by output method, whatever be the method applied. Ultimately, you have to follow this adjustment procedure. So it is very important and practice at home. Thank you all this much today.